Hi, Dad.
Mr. Honeywell didn't even give me a chance. After all, I am executive vice president. He could have consulted me first.
Dad!
All he said was, I've got news for you, Albright. Let me finish, Albright. Is that clear, Albright? I felt like I was being swept under a rug.
Dad, will you please tell me what you're talking about?
Mr. Honeywell had lunch with Bill Howell today.
Good grief, you'd think the world had come to an end.
Well, Howell happens to be one of the fastest rising young investment brokers in town, Margie. And Mr. Honeywell wants to bring him into the firm as executive vice president.
What?
Well, that's exactly how I felt.
This is awful. The next thing you know, Mr. Honeywell will be thinking of making him president, and that's the job he's been promising you.
I know, Margie.
You can't let Mr. Honeywell ride over you. After all, think of all the money you brought into the firm.
I know, Margie.
Dad, you'll just have to assert yourself. Where's your get up and go?
Well, I guess it got up and went.
And if Mr. Honeywell brings this high-priced executive into the firm, poor Dad will stay a vice president for the rest of his life.
Margie, is your father going to stand still for this?
I'm afraid so. Mr. Honeywell has him buffaloed.
The trouble with your father is that he's not aggressive.
I can't understand it. We Albrights have always been fighters. Great-grandfather Caspar Albright was an old Indian fighter. Uncle George was an old Indian fighter. Even Grandmother Gertrude was an old Indian fighter.
Didn't the Albrights fight any young Indians?
Be serious, Mrs. Odette. I thought maybe you'd have an idea on how to make Dad more aggressive in front of Mr. Honeywell. You're clever, and you're always so full of schemes.
Margie, how you do go on. And please, do go on.
I wish Dad had some of the spirit of his ancestors.
Child, you've just given me an idea. Princess Nadja.
Who?
She's a clairvoyant. Suppose one of your father's ancestors suddenly came back and talked some sense into him.
Will there be any trouble getting Princess Nadja to cooperate?
She'll do anything I say. I lent her the money to go into business. Now, you'll have your father down to Princess Nadja's tomorrow night.
Swell. I'll get Dad to take me to dinner, and on the way, I'll casually steer him past Princess Nadja's.
Is there anything else you want to know about the Albrights?
No. I've got all the information about the girl up here.
Good. Then when we get round to Mr. Albright, I'll take over.
I only let you drag me in here so that we could get over with this silly nonsense and have our dinner. I'm starved.
It's them. Quick, let's run through it once more.
All right. Margie Albright is meddlesome. She goes out with a boy named Freddie. It won't take long, Dad. I just want to know what the future has in store for me.
Well, I'm more concerned with the present, such as eating.
Shh, they'll hear you.
Who, the spirits?
Yes, the spirits. I am Princess Nadia. I see all, I know all, I tell all.
Well, for a woman, that's not so unusual.
Princess, I'm Margie Albright, and this is my father.
How do you do? Won't you sit down?
If you don't mind, I'll stand this one out. Unlike my daughter, I don't believe in spirits.
You're just like my father. Every night he tells me not to believe in spirits.
You see, Margie?
And Father should know. He's been dead for 20 years. I presume that it's you, then, who wishes to make contact with the spirit world. You will place your hands in mine and concentrate on the urn. I shall try to summon the spirits. Can you hear me, spirits? Answer me, spirits, if you hear me. The spirits have heard me. I've made contact with... Repeat your name, old spirit. I've made contact with your great-grandmother, Gertrude Albright. Gertrude Albright is upset with her great-granddaughter. Hush! Don't break the spell. She's distressed by the way you behave. She doesn't like the way you meddle in your father's affairs. She says if you were her child, she'd take you across her knee and use an old-fashioned hairbrush.
Dad, you're right. This is all silly nonsense. Let's go and eat.
Oh, wait. Everything the spirit says makes sense.
Dad, you're not falling for this overgrown Ouija board. You're starved, remember?
Quiet. I have a message for Mr. Albright.
What did she say?
I can't make it out. Her voice is fading.
Oh, don't let her get away, Princess Nadja. I want to hear more.
She can't get away now. I've sealed her in this room. Quick, Miss Albright. Mr. Albright, if we concentrate hard enough, we might get the spirit to talk. Close your eyes and join hands. We will all concentrate together. Gertrude Albright, you are in this room. We feel your closeness. Your grandson Vern desires to hear your voice. Speak, Gertrude Albright. Speak.
Vernon, my grandson, I am disappointed in you. I was in Mr. Honeywell's office with you yesterday, and you were a disgrace to the Albright name.
But, Grandmother, there's nothing else I could do.
You could stop being a yes man. From now on, Vernon, I want you to be a no man to Mr. Honeywell.
Oh, but, Grandmother, he's the boss.
You can have as much authority as Mr. Honeywell if you make your mind up to it. Just repeat after me. I am the boss. Nobody can tell me what to say.
I am the boss. Nobody can tell me what to say.
Speak like you mean it.
I am the boss. Nobody can tell me what to say.
That's better.
Oh, Grandma Gertrude, you've given me the strength that I need. Before you leave, tell me, where are you?
Oh, it's so hot and smoky in here.
Grandma, I thought you'd gone to the other place.
The reading is over, Mr. Albright. We can unjoin our hands and open our eyes. Well, Mr. Albright.
Princess Nadja, I owe you an apology. The first thing tomorrow morning, I'm going to follow my grandmother's advice. And if it works, I'll want to communicate with her again.
Very well. Let's say then tomorrow morning at 10.
Come on, Margie. Let's eat. I'm going to have my steak raw. I feel like a tiger.
Morning, Albright. Say, I've got a ringside seat for the fights tonight, and I won't be able to work on tomorrow's reports. Will you be a good scout and take them off my hands?
No.
Now, here's the data, Albright, and thanks a million.
I said no.
I could have sworn you said no.
Irrefutably no. I'll spell it for you. N-O.
All right, are you out of your mind?
No.
Have you got another job?
No.
Can't you say anything else but no?
No.
Now, you listen to me, Albright. You have these reports ready by tomorrow morning, or you can kiss Honeywell and Todd goodbye.
I will not. And as for those reports, you can give them to Mr. Todd. I'm tired of being pushed around.
All right. I don't know what's gotten into you, but I'll give you one more chance. What's your decision?
I'll answer you in a word.
Yes?
No.
Yes, sir?
Betty, tell Mr. Albright to come back in here.
I'm sorry, Mr. Honeywell. He's already left. He said he had to see somebody at 10 o'clock.
He's been acting very suspicious this morning. I'm going to see where he's headed.
What brings you back to these humble surroundings, Mr. Albright?
Well, Grandmother gave me the courage to say no to Mr. Honeywell, and now perhaps she can advise me how to handle the Bill Howell situation.
Bill Howell?
Yes, he's the new man that Mr. Honeywell is thinking of bringing into the firm.
Very well. Let's sit down.
Mrs. Odette, it's now or never.
Child, I know exactly what to say. Leave it to me.
Just don't overdo it.
Oh, Spirit of Gertrude Albright, come forth from the mist and speak to us. Speak, Gertrude Albright, speak.
You showed some of the Albright fighting spirit this morning, and I'm proud of you. But I had expected you to bring up the matter of Mr. Howell.
Well, Grandmother, now you know why I'm here. If Mr. Honeywell brings Howell into the firm, my future's in jeopardy.
You must be more forceful than ever with your employer. You should be more like your grandfather.
Grandfather?
Grandfather fought for what he believed in. When the Indians wanted to chase him off his land, Grandfather stood up to the chief and said, "This range is not big enough for the both of us."
But Grandfather was scalped, stabbed, and burned at the stake.
Well, grandson, we all have to go sometime. Now, you stand up to Mr. Honeywell and tell him there is not room for 2 executive vice presidents.
I might lose my job if I do that, and I'm too old for pick and shovel.
Nonsense, Vernon. It's the only thing to do. Remember, I'll be watching over you, and I possess great power.
Oh, Grandma, I want to be sure that you're with me. Can you show me a sign of your power?
What'll I say? I see trouble in the forenoon. It's becoming clear now. Vernon, you will soon have a run-in with the law.
Grandmother, are you sure?
Vernon, I can guarantee it.
Yeah. So I understand.
I'll have to call you back, Sergeant.
Grandson, I must leave you now. Have strength in your convictions when you talk with Mr. Honeywell about the new man. And watch for my sign. Trouble in the forenoon.
I feel the spirit fading, Mr. Albright. The reading is over.
Oh, thank you, Princess Nadja. I'm very grateful. I'll come back and let you know how things came out. Officer, are you giving me a ticket?
That's your car, I am.
I can't believe it.
Yes, that's what they all say.
Oh, no, it's amazing. Trouble with the law in the forenoon.
The trouble with the law... what was that?
My grandmother, who's been dead for 20 years, told me that this would happen.
Look, mister, you better go home and get some rest. We'll just forget about the ticket.
Oh, no, you don't. You made out that ticket for me. I want it. You don't know how happy you've made me. Thank you, officer. Thank you.
Bound to happen. Albright's lost his marbles.
Welcome to Princess Nadia's. Do you wish a spirit reading?
I want to know about a man that works for me.
Please sit down. I shall try to contact the spirits.
Mr. Honeywell is out there.
What? He must have followed your father.
The man in question, have you known him long?
Well, yes and no.
Oh, he's a new man.
A completely new man.
Did you hear that? He must be talking about the new man, Mr. Howell.
Margie, this is working out better than we expected.
I think it's time we got into the act, Mrs. Odette, and helped Dad out.
This is your guiding spirit. What is it you wish to know about this man?
Don't be alarmed. You have aroused the spirit. If you have any questions, ask them.
I have great respect for this man, but he's been acting very suspiciously.
Don't trust him.
He's bright, industrious, personable, and now set to any organization.
He only looks good on the surface. Down underneath, he's a bum.
But he looked like such a good prospect.
Your eyes are bad. Fire him.
Who was that? That sounded like a different voice.
Your hearing's bad, too. Dismiss him. Discharge him. Liquidate him.
Thanks, that's exactly what I'll do. Just one more thing before I go.
Yes?
Could you mention a good investment?
A strong vibration tells me amalgamated steel will go up 5 points.
Amalgamated steel, eh? Thanks. Goodbye, Princess.
Mr. Honeywell, I've been waiting for you to get back. There are a few things I have to say to you.
Hold on, Albright. There's a couple of things I want to tell you.
Not until I'm finished. First, we're going to have an understanding about Bill Howell. This office is not big enough for both of us. One of us has got to go.
Are you finished?
I'm through.
You certainly are. You're fired. Dismissed.
Discharged?
I ought to liquidate you.
You sure laid it on thick, Mrs. Odette. Fire him. Dismiss him.
And Margie, don't forget liquidate.
You made excellent, Spirit. I must remember to use both of you again.
We couldn't have done it without your help, Nadja.
You didn't do so bad yourself, Margie, with old Mr. Honeywell. He marched out of here, determined to fire Howell.
And Margie rigged the whole thing just to make me more aggressive. She was afraid that Bill Howell would prove too much competition for me.
That's rich. Howard just turned down my offer because he thought you'd be too much competition for him. All right, let's forget the last few hours and get back to work.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Honeywell. But first, I'm going to teach Margie a lesson. So she wanted me to have more authority. Where do I have less authority? With Margie.
Whatever your scheme is, all right, can I get in on it?
The more the merrier. Be at my house tonight at 8, Mr. Honeywell.
Why, if it isn't Mr. Albright.
What big eyes you have, Grandma. Don't look so surprised. I saw you and Margie at Princess Nadja's today.
I am completely in the dark.
Mrs. Odette, stop playing games. I need your help to pull a gag on Margie. Can you have Princess Nadja at my house at 8 o'clock tonight?
I am completely in the dark.
Oh, Mrs. Odette, you're forgetting that Honeywell and Todd handle your trust account and that I personally make out your weekly check.
I am beginning to see the light. I just hate to do this to Margie.
Are you sure that everything is all ready?
Do not fear, Mr. Albright. My man will appear at the right moment.
I've got to hand it to you, all right. You certainly thought up a Lulu this time.
I can't wait to see her face.
Dad, what's going on here?
You're just in time, Margie. We're having a little seance. I want to thank Grandma for all she's done for me.
Grandma?
Mr. Albright, I think we're ready. Please turn off the lights. I shall endeavor to contact the spirits. Can you hear me, spirits? If you're in this room, make your presence known.
Don't be afraid, Vern. I'm your great-grandfather, Caspar Albright. Tell me, what's going on in your family?
What do you mean, great-grandfather Caspar?
In my day, we menfolk ran the family. The women had but one job, to do our bidding. They baked for us, sewed, washed, cooked, cleaned, and that's the way it ought to be with you, young'un. Do you hear me, Vern?
I hear the word, great-grandfather.
You can turn on the light, Mr. Albright.
Disappeared in thin air.
Gone. What do you make of it, Dad?
What do I make of it? Grandfather is right. You've been getting away with murder. From now on, you're going to do exactly what I say. Now go to bed.
What?
I said go to bed.
But it's only 9 o'clock. Why do I have to go to bed so early?
Because I want toast for breakfast.
But I always make toast for your breakfast.
Starting in tomorrow morning, you're going to make the bread first. Now go to bed. Margie, you can clear away the breakfast dishes now.
Yes, sir.
Margie, hand me a cigarette.
Yes, sir.
Margie, light me.
Yes, sir.
Margie, answer the phone.
Yes, sir. Hello?
Oh, and a good morning to you, Mrs. Odette. No, I'm sorry, but Margie won't be able to go shopping with you today. She has the sewing, baking, washing, and all the housework to do yet. Goodbye.
But, Dad...
Margie, don't stand there like a bump on a log. Get back to your cleaning.
Yes, sir.
Margie.
Oh, Mrs. Odette, you're a sight for sore feet.
Margie, how long are you going to keep being a slave to your father?
What can I do? He has so much authority now.
Margie, your father saw us at Princess Nadja's and forced me to pull that seance on you.
Why, that big fraud. So Dad tried to beat me at my own game. Well, we'll see about that.
That a girl, Margie. I can already feel the joint jumping again.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Mr. Honeywell, Margie's practically a robot. I tell her to do something, and it's done.
It's hard to believe, Albright.
Dad, Mr. Honeywell, you're just in time. Quick, take your seats. We're having another seance.
But Margie...
You're disturbing the spirits.
Oh, great spirits, I summon you forth once more. If you hear my voice, make your presence known.
Vern, you've been acting like a true Albright, ordering Margie around the way you have. Why, you're just like me. I order my woman to cook for me, sew for me, clean for me.
Is that so?
Why, Gertrude.
Vernon, pay no attention to this husband of mine. So, the Albright men rule the Albright women. Caspar, who runs our family?
You do, dear.
Who does the cooking, the cleaning, and the sweeping?
I do, dear.
That's more like it. Now, come along, dear. I think I smell your fudge burning in the kitchen.
Yes, dear. Ooh, ow.
Now, Margie, see here.
Very funny. But what I want to know is whose bright idea was it to buy Amalgamated Steel?
Oh, no. Oh, Mr. Honeywell, it's all my fault.
Don't blame Margie. I tipped you off about the stock.
You did? Went up 5 points. How'd you do it?
Oh, just a blind stab in the dark.